Ooh.
Oh
Welcome
my
back
God.
to the 80s Cinema Club. It is episode 11.
Oh God, we've made it to episode 11, guys.
Yeah.
How much longer?
As promised, this week we are doing Ghostbusters 2, our first sequel of the 80s Cinema Club.
It's pretty cool.
We haven't done a follow episode yet.
No. Hopefully a few in the future.
Yes.
Depends.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of like franchises in
Why
the
it
80s.
took you so long?
I've lost the words for it.
That's fair enough.
Okay, I'll take it away.
Right, yeah. So I'm leading this up this ball since this has happened. Let's hope I can do this first try.
Oh, go on then.
So obviously today we're looking at Ghostbusters 2. It was directed by Ivan Reitman, same as Ghostbusters, as it would make sense. Had a budget of 30 to 40 million and made 215.4. Already gone shit. $215.4 million in the box office. So another ridiculous success, which is great to see. Cast obviously is the same. You've got Bill Murray as Dr. Pete Venkman, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver and Rick Moranis still featuring again, as well as, what's her name? I forgot it already. Annie Potts. But in this, we've also then got Peter McNichol playing Dr. Janusz Porha, probably mispronounced that. Then Wilhelm von Homburg, fucking an awesome stage name, playing Viggo the Carpathian, the main antagonist. So, synopsis for this being, having lost their status and credibility 5 years after covering New York City with gooey roasted marshmallows in Ghostbusters, the city's former heroes and once popular spirit hunters struggle to keep afloat, forced to work odd jobs. However, when Dana and her baby have yet another terrifying encounter with the paranormal, it's up to Peter Venkman and his fearless team of supernatural crime fighters to step up and save the day. Once more, humankind is in danger as the rivers of psychoreactive ectoplasm, that's a mouthful, paired with a dreadful manifestation of ever evil 17th century tyrant Viggo the Carpathian, threaten to plunge the entire city into darkness. Is the world ready to believe? Can the Ghostbusters save us for the second time? That's a great synopsis from whoever put that.
That was a long one.
It's very long, but it's awesome.
That was a very long one compared to the usual ones. We didn't say what year it was from.
Oh, 89?
I think it was 89.
Pretty sure it's 89.
Because I think it is 5 years after the first film. It's 5 years.
They didn't lie.
Right.
Left. Hilarious joke again from me.
Oh Christ, we don't get any better.
No, well, I mean, people aren't going to expect us to get better as we go along.
No, true.
It's only going to get progressively worse as we spiral downwards into 80s films.
Yeah, we're going to the deep rabbit hole that is the 80s.
Oh.
Right, so likes and dislikes though.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite hard to actually get likes and dislikes for this. Or
I agree,
get likes even. Because it's very similar to the first film.
Yeah.
And also it's very different. It's really
it's a really strange thing. I guess that's probably one of my likes, being that it does still capture the feeling of the first Ghostbusters film. Obviously, it is slightly removed. It's not quite as entertaining because it's not fully original as compared to the first one. The originality of the first one made it so impressive, but this is very much builds off of the last one.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, in one way, it's really good how it's preserved the energy, but at the same time, you kind of wanted them to exceed it a bit more, or add something more, which
didn't feel like they added
really
nothing game changing to make it.
But it still had that cool feeling to it.
Yeah. So main things then, I guess, is I think it was quite clear the special effects had got better.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was just me. So I mean, yeah, some of the ghosts still look a bit wacky. Like when Oscar, I'm pretty sure his name's Oscar.
Yes.
The kid gets snatched from the roof.
Oh
you know,
God.
that big hand that
looks so
comes around
dodgy,
and grasps
doesn't it?
Like, that looks like a bit weird.
It does.
But the general special effects of it, so like when you see Slimer a couple of times...
I was going to say that again,
he looks so much better than
Slimer
he did
looks
in the
a lot
first
better.
one. He's even credited.
Is he really?
He's in the, so you know what I was saying before about the cast list?
Yeah.
He's one of the main credited people, and they don't say it like... So everyone else is like Bill Murray as... I forgot it. Peter Venkman. And but then it goes, and Slimer, and it shows the picture of him on the bus.
It's pretty hilarious.
Which I thought was good. I mean, integral part of the franchise.
Honestly, yeah, he's a representative. He's almost like a mascot, really, isn't he?
Yeah, you've got the actual ghost, I guess, from the Ghostbusters. You've got Slimer, and you've got the Stay Puft Marsh.
Viggo doesn't get much love.
Who doesn't?
Viggo.
Well,
exactly. Who?
Who? Yeah.
Big point of this film.
I'm not surprised. He's the evil mastermind.
Yeah, I mean that leads us on to this one. I kind of liked how the central villain being Vigo, kind of. In the first one, obviously, you have the whole build up to, can't even remember the big villain's name, the old god being brought into the new world, but Vigo's kind of there.
It's Gozer.
Maybe.
Gozer, I think.
There's Gozer and there's Zune and there's loads of old.
I think it's Gozer is like the main villain.
Probably, but Vigo was kind of there throughout the whole thing, indirectly intervening through Yanush, even though Yanush was a pretty shit guy to choose. He did nothing. He just sat there really awkward and, hey, is it, Dana? Dana? Do you need help? Dana? How is the baby?
That's actually quite a good impersonation.
I love how he speaks. It's so like hesitant, but he's like, he starts a sentence and then doesn't want to say it, and then goes back in and goes, Dana? I wanted to check you were okay. Favourite guy. Dr.
Yeah,
Yanush.
he's a bit.
He's very strange.
Why does she attract such creepy like?
Rick Moranis gets his romance though in this film, and it was really weird.
Oh, is that who plays Louis? Louis
yeah. Rick Moranis and Lewis Tully and Janine Melnitz, played by Annie Potts.
See, I really liked
romance.
that he got more screen time because I quite enjoy his character.
He's quite a good character actually.
But what was that scene?
It was so weird. Oh my god.
Yeah. So special effects.
Yes,
they got a lot better in the 5 years. Really, 5 years is quite a big gap for such a popular film to have.
That is very true.
It's usually somewhere between 2 and 3.
Generally,
I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot when you do it, but to wait another 2 full years.
But especially in the 80s as well, where it wasn't as though people
wanted the money.
Yeah,
they wanted to get.
Cinema was still in a pretty dire state, trying to get money back.
It was like, we need, like, you'd expected them. Oh, Ghostbusters, that did so well. Let's make another one straight away.
Chill out. I mean, fair, we do that now. But there's a little bit more waiting for things to, like, special effects to develop. Obviously, that probably was a factor in them doing
through
that.
Through the 80s and then the 90s, it was the time when it's most developing.
It's nice to see that it almost feels like they did wait for it to be a little bit better special effects. They could do it justice again, which was cool.
Another thing I liked, which I didn't think we saw enough of in the first one, was Egon and Ray have I really like their chemistry in this film. Yeah. So we said in the first episode, or last episode, that all of them had good chemistry together. But Egon and Ray, preferably my 2 favourite of the Ghostbusters. They are pretty cool. They have so much more together, they're actually really funny together.
The playoff in it is really fun. Egon, I think his character is it definitely gets better in the second film. I also think the same with Winston. For all he doesn't really show much in the first film, he's there a little bit more throughout the second, and I think he saves their lives on like 2 accounts. So like, no, he's definitely proved himself.
So like, there's the line when they're inspecting Dana's apartment for the ghost stuff.
Oh god!
And
this is what I'm thinking of.
Well, there's 2 things. They stood in the room, and he goes, "You didn't have toys, Egon?" He said, "I had half a Slinky, but I straightened it out."
That was pretty great.
But then there's a point in which he just stands there and just goes, "I'd like to give the mother a gynecological exam." And Bill Murray goes, "Wouldn't everyone?"
Oh, God. Oh, it's hilarious. I
didn't like that line that much.
No, that was a bit weird, but it preserved that same comedy from the first one, which was really
there was
nice
still
to
a
see.
lot. You could tell, like, cause I like how when he's talking about his Slinky, it does a quick cut back to him. Yeah. So it's Bill Murray's talking to the baby in the room, and then just kind of goes back, and there's like probably 5 seconds, and then cuts back again because it's just them talking about not having toys.
It was pretty great.
Like always, what was it to say there? Oh, this is what I put down. They really know how to make a montage.
Oh my god, they do.
So
they love montages.
You have the one, and like sometimes a montage can be done, and it's obviously a montage is done to save time. Yeah. And the fact that something needs to be progressed like really quickly. Mm-hmm. And in the first one, it worked really well with showing how they were taken off and they were on Time magazine and everything like that. But then in this, it was kind of the same vibe, but like I don't know why their montages they just feel cool.
I think it's the soundtrack over it.
Yeah,
as well.
I can't remember what the song was because I don't think it's the theme song.
Yeah, the one we played at the start there.
Yeah, it is a different song.
That's interesting, actually.
But I don't know. There's just something about the way they shoot the montages, and because it's just them doing cool ghost catching things, and it's just really fun to watch.
It is pretty cool.
And that's another thing I just put the music is just amazing. It gets me excited for like every scene that it's on with.
Is pretty cool.
So it's like it's not dramatic music, it's like fun music. So I'm sat there like vibing. I guess I don't know how else to like
late 80s, early 90s. It's very different main because this almost feels a bit like a hip hop sort of thing. Yeah. For the main song of this, but I felt that was kind of it was cool, you know. the soundtrack in the first one, because obviously the Ghostbusters song is the big thing. You know, as we talked about last time, a lot of people, even if you haven't seen the film, know of it because of the Ghostbusters song. And I think this one deserves a bit more attention because it's like, it is a really cool and shows almost like that the core of the film is still there, but it's a new little spin on it, but it's still entertaining.
Yeah, I thought some other funny moments that I put down, which kind of kept its charm, was Peter Venkman, not Peter Venkman. He has his TV show, The Sidekicks thing.
Yes,
and there's a moment where he breaks the fourth wall because he's like breaking the fourth wall within breaking the fourth wall because he's in a TV show. But it's when she's talking about aliens like abducting her.
Oh God,
her motel, I think it was. And he just
looks. He looks directly at the camera,
and he's just like.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Just moments like that I thought it really. There was slightly cringier moments of humor, I think. Than the other one, which I didn't like particularly. Like, it wasn't as funny, but most of the time they were still keeping like the charm.
Yeah, it still had that thing about it, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't really have many of the likes because a lot of them kind of correlate with the other film, except for like obviously the specific things that go on. It's
kind of hard because this does just feel like the same film, but they've slightly changed it. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to give like a different take on it than we already have.
So I guess we go on to the dislikes then, because I do have a few dislikes of this film.
I've not got any notes written down. But
they try to explain it, right? And when they say that they're broke and the Ghostbusters have split up because they got sued by the city, right?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, that's just some bullshit to like get them split up for the start of the film.
Yeah.
And like that, and I mean, yes, you have to have some. They had to write a script and there had to be a story and for the film, and there had to be something. But why I didn't like it how they started it with them all being split up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird idea, given that the mayor that himself was the one who told the Ghostbusters essentially to get involved in it. So I'm not sure why they got sued by the city.
I mean, yes, there's like damage and stuff.
Yeah.
But why would you not be happy for them stopping the end of the world?
Yeah, for this massive marshmallow guy roaming through the streets of New York when the government doesn't do anything about it.
I know.
They've got US Army soldiers there and they aren't seen throughout that scene.
And apparently they had to pay money to
I think so.
the government. I just touched my microphone, that's not good.
Wow.
They paid money to the government, and they said it was something like $25,000 dollars each or something, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was so much.
You must have had to sell all the equipment to do that, but no, they still have Ecto 1. They still have all the nuclear powered, proton packs.
I don't know what they must have sold, if I'm honest.
Another thing I didn't like. I mean, this is possible and it is a bit petty, but so much stuff happened in 5 years.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess 5 years is a long time, isn't it?
I know, but at the end of the film, right? Put him to the end of the film. Peter got with Dana.
Yeah.
And obviously you're thinking, movie romance, that'll last a while. But no, she'd gone off, started a totally new relationship with someone, got married to that person, had a child with that person, divorced that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot happens in 1 year.
Because the baby's
5 years,
like 1 to 3 year old? They won't be 3.
Probably like maybe about a year old, somewhere around there. Which
means either she had the baby at the very end of their relationship.
That's possible.
Or it seemed a lot to happen in 5 years.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. Because they put them all in different positions in different places.
Yeah.
So it didn't seem many of them were speaking to Peter, but at the same time they were. Because they kept talking about it like they weren't, but when they saw him, it wasn't like a big thing.
No,
it was like
pretty casual.
They'd seen him the other day.
I like how Egon immediately goes back to the university as well and starts studying
testing
again.
Up people.
It's pretty funny.
Where Egon and Ray, you can clearly had been like talking to each other.
Oh yeah.
And Ray has been with Winston doing birthday parties as the Ghostbusters.
It's like birthday appearances.
I like their pop culture. Was it He-Man?
Yes.
Because obviously all the kids
Who are you
reading
call
all these
He-Man?
Yeah.
He-Man.
instead of the Ghostbusters.
Very inconsiderate children.
Bill Murray's character of Peter was my least favourite thing in this film.
He got a little bit more sleazy feeling somehow.
I know, and that made it. I think in the first film, I didn't like it in some parts, but I thought it did balance out the character and kind of make him the, I don't know, like give him his personality.
Yeah.
In this one, like Dana fell in love with exactly the same person.
Yeah.
Would you not have broken up with him because you started to realise that you didn't like that's how he acted?
Yeah, because she did say that she broke up with him because he started to refer to her as the old ball and chain. but then he doesn't actually talk like positively
he doesn't
towards
change.
her throughout the whole thing.
I know, he doesn't change. It's just the same thing, and he's worse at it.
He's a little bit more him, which just makes it a little bit worse, like you're saying. It was very strange. I'm trying to think of any overall dislikes.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard because again, this is just like, I guess one of my dislikes is that it doesn't feel like they pushed the ball out enough with the idea.
No,
here.
they really tried. They tried too much to make the first one again. I think.
Yeah.
It's like in the courtroom scenes. They're like, ghosts are not legally recognized, and you cannot say.
Yeah.
So you're telling me a massive like wormhole, pretty much, opened up over the New York, a massive marshmallow man. You saw the Ghostbusters blow up the top of a building where there was a temple on top with some like alien dogs.
Yeah.
Right.
You saw them kill the marshmallow.
You saw the ghosts running around the city, coming out
Exactly.
everywhere, and at the end of that, you went, you know what? I don't think ghosts are real.
Yeah. Same. Honestly, I don't really. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
Because
I don't
the
quite
film
get it.
basically follows the same narrative as the first one.
Oh, it's the exact same formula.
So basically, in the first one, they are not Ghostbusters.
Yep.
They are not Ghostbusters in the second one.
Nope.
They become Ghostbusters. They become Ghostbusters again in the second one. Then nobody believes them in the first one. People start believing them again.
Yep.
Nobody believes them. People start believing them again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's even
they
the
go
same.
to prison.
Yeah.
Again.
They go to a psychiatric one in this one.
Oh,
different.
Slightly different. Oh, guess what? Then the mayor calls for them after. Well, actually, no. The mayor dismissed them this time and then called them back later after they've been sent to a psychiatric unit. And the end was the same thing going for Dana, but this time with a baby.
It's so weird. It's even from the same villain thing that this big villain takes two chosen ones, in this it's only one obviously, and gets them to do their evil bidding to bring them into the world.
And okay, it's not a bad film by any means.
It's definitely not.
Any means necessary? Any means.
Okay.
I'm coming for you, Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad film by any means.
No.
But it just seemed a bit repetitive, which some people will like because it's like the comfort of...
it's a safe pick, isn't it, really?
Yeah, of getting it. As well, you know, as my media studies teacher would say, shout out to Matt Forder.
If he's listening. Fellow podcast.
He won't be listening.
100 Horrors podcast.
Yeah, mini shout out.
Great stuff.
It's a bit too much pleasure of recognition.
Yeah,
which is something that if you watch something and you like something you've seen before, you'd like it.
Yeah, it's essentially playing on nostalgia. It sounds
but
like.
Too much of it, I think, is in this film because you can kind of pick it out and go, well, that's the same. That's the same.
Yeah,
they've done exactly the same thing there.
Yeah,
why couldn't they think of what to write? Like,
and the fact as well that Viggo the Carpathian, this big, he sits on a throne of skulls. He's this powerful magician, and he killed thousands of people. He just does nothing.
Yeah, Viggo, I don't think he's not a good villain. And the idea of him being the villain, stuck in the portrait, and he needs to get out with like sucking someone's soul out.
Pretty interesting.
He's pretty decent, but they don't do anything with him.
He's the most like unthreatening villain possible. Like, he sits in the painting for the whole film, gets let out by Yanush, briefly almost becomes the baby, gets out of the painting somehow in the end, and then just gets blasted back in the painting.
Yeah, because he's supposed to. You'd think he's the big villain, but the real villain is actually the negativity of New Yorkers.
Yes. It almost is more of like a social...
going on in the 80s with New York and them just hating themselves, because I get... It was the whole thing about them, like, we have our basic right to not be happy with ourselves.
Yeah. It feels more like a veiled social message about New York than a sequel to the Ghostbusters.
I know, like, everybody's so depressed. We need to get them hyped up with the like, America, fuck yeah. Like,
God,
what was...
That was such a weird choice.
I don't know what was going on.
I love how the Titanic appeared as well.
Yeah,
it's a direct follow-on from Raise the Titanic.
Oh my god, 80s Cinema Club reference in an 80s film.
We're making our own little cinematic universe here. So Raise the Titanic and Ghostbusters happen in the same universe. So they must use Byzanium inside of those.
That's what makes Ghosts.
That's what makes them. Oh, no way! Right,
Slimer is a pure.
Slimer's that guy from the graveyard in England. Oh, it makes so much sense. That make no sense whatsoever. If you haven't watched Raise the Titanic episode, please go back and watch it. Why not? It's a daft one.
Yeah, I think it just is a lot of nitpicky stuff, mainly to do with the story. Like, the acting is fine, the special effects are great. It's all just a nice, like, you know, right, sitting down and not watching this critically, I'd be totally happy to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, you watch the first one, that's a good film. Watch the second one, that's a good film.
Yeah.
You know, I've got nothing against it. It's just, it really feels like they were a bit lazy, and after 5 years, you'd think there'd been, like, You'd think like Bill Murray and that would have rejected doing it again because they've been shown scripts that were bad.
You kind of
and then,
thought
and then they accepted the one where they did exactly the same thing with like a little twists in between.
It is kind of disappointing that way that it wasn't fleshed out a little bit. Well, that's a weird voice crack. Wasn't fleshed out a little bit more than it actually was, and they didn't try anything different. Because
I enjoyed seeing the characters again.
Oh yeah.
It was nice to like see them again, and it's like you do get that if you haven't seen. I mean, it's been a week since we watched the last one.
Yeah.
But like, imagine if it'd been 5 years, people have been proper hyped to go and see Ghostbusters 2.
The hype, like leading up to Ghostbusters 2, must have been really.
Yeah, big. And then people will have overlooked the obvious things because if you're a big fan, you don't pay attention to that sort of stuff.
Definitely not.
So, I can't really think of anything more.
I think we're about ready for ratings.
About it. So, Alfie, what did you rate Ghostbusters 2?
So, again, it's mainly just based off the fact that it was essentially the first film with a few little new bells and whistles that weren't necessarily better. So, I'm going to have to give it a solid 7.
7? What did you give the first one?
7.5.
Because I think
that's where I went slightly lower with this one.
Yeah, so I think I gave Ghostbusters 1 a 7.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've gone like pretty similar to be honest. It is basically, I thought, because it's a lot like the first one.
Yeah.
That's another one. The Statue of Liberty is a massive object come to life that shouldn't have come to life. Equals the Marshmallow Man.
God, that's ruined the one bit of creativity they had in that.
I mean, they didn't ride the Marshmallow Man. That sounds fucking horrible.
Really
they didn't.
Bad. Oh.
Yeah, I can't think of a word.
Yeah, sorry, they just crawled inside of a woman and controlled her.
Okay, that's worse.
With slime.
Okay, no, like...
Come on, give us the rating. Give us the rating so we can move on.
I give it a 6.
6. Okay.
Because I thought it was just enjoyable and not... Yeah.
Yeah, it's not groundbreaking, is it?
Yeah, so I think that's a 6.5.
6.5 overall.
For the total rating.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
right.
It's pretty decent, yeah. Questions, Alfie.
Questions.
That was a bit premature.
I'm not going to make that joke. Right, let's get straight into it then because I can't think of anything interesting.
You asked me first then, don't you? Yeah.
Right, so first question is, so during the court case where the Ghostbusters are pleading their case, the fact that they're not whack jobs and ghosts are real, and the judge is having none of the shit. He says a particular line dismissing the existence of the supernatural. He says, I don't believe in blank, blank, and blank.
Oh, no, I do remember him saying this, but I can't remember what, like...
To be fair, even if you get, maybe 2, I'll give you the points, because I feel like all 3.
This is... I think this is the bit that I had to turn down, because...
One of these actually relates to episode 12, which is quite funny.
Oh, okay. That's a clue.
That's a good clue.
I'm going to go ghouls, goblins, and ghosts.
Oh, not right.
What? No, please.
That is so close.
What is it?
It's goblins, spooks, and demons. You know what? I'll give you the point.
Yes.
That one was a bit.
Yes, I didn't even get the question right.
I'll give you the point. I feel kind of bad. I am still 6 points in the lead. So
no, because that's the things fine. They're all on. I mean, they are all on the same kind of thing. But yeah, okay. Thank you. Right. Question 1, Alfie. Then.
Yeah.
After this film released, what character was added to the real Ghostbusters TV show?
What the fuck? So after this film was released, there was a TV show going on already, I'm presuming.
Yeah, and they added a character in from this film that wasn't in the TV show.
So it must be like a big character from this film then, I would have thought.
Kind of.
Well, right, so I'm between two things, either being the fucking baby, which would be such a bad choice, or Yanush. And I think just because how much I like him, I'm going to go for the Dr. Yanush.
Nah, this was a bit of a trick question.
Oh, fuck. Is it like Winston?
No, it's Louis.
Who the fuck?
Or Lewis.
Oh, right. Why is he not in it?
He's not in the TV show, apparently.
So dumb.
TV show started in 1986, I think it said, and I don't know when it ended.
They didn't put him one of the big characters.
Yeah, but he wasn't one of the characters in it until after this film.
That.
I'm actually kind of glad I got one on you there. Right.
To be fair, that's such a weird thing to do.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Anyway, so second question: who do you call it? Let me think. Peter Venkman, Dr. Peter Venkman, is walking into the museum to go meet Dana at her job. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He meets a guy by the information desk who goes, "Oh, you're the guy from World of Psychics, right?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, you got me." And he said, "That's my second favourite show." He says, "What's your favourite show?"
Is he going to say what's my favourite show?
What is his favourite show?
Is it Bass Catchers?
Bassmasters.
Masters! Oh. No!
You were so close. I thought I was going to get you with that one.
You don't need to give me the point for that. But I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I was like, it's bass something. What is it? And I was thinking, fish catch, fish catch, catch fish. Oh. Actually, question 2, Alfie. I've been slightly nicer on this one, kind of. What wasn't scripted in the bathroom attack scene? And I'm going to give you some options. Scene. You know, the one where the sludge comes out the bath. A, Dana playing with the baby.
Right, yeah.
B, Dana taking off her shirt.
Okay.
Or C, Dana's screaming.
I feel like the screaming was probably going to be in there. If anything,
what wasn't?
I'm probably going to say taking off her shirt.
Correct. For some reason, the actress decided to take off her shirt.
It's a bit weird, that.
Because her line was that obviously she's the baby's about to have a bath, so she's taking the clothes off.
Yeah.
And then she says, "I'm gonna take off my shirt too," which I guess fair enough. If you're gonna bathe your baby, you might not want to get your shirt wet. But
it's just to console him. He doesn't like having his up half exposed, so she's showing.
I don't know what part. Whatever.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird.
It seemed a bit like a weird thing to do.
It does, especially when it's not scripted.
Okay then.
Right. So, final question. This plays into probably one of my worst questions I've asked so far. In the Raise the Titanic episode, I asked you about radioactivity and elements. However, this one is actually vaguely linked. During a line of dialogue between Ray and Egon about, I think, probably about what causes the U's to be activated. I can't quite remember. Mm-hmm. Ray asks, "How sure are you, Egon?" And he says something about the atomic weight of cobalt.
Oh, no, I can't remember this.
What is the atomic?
I was hoping you were going to ask me how long the proton packs last for.
I don't know what that is.
That was 5,000 years.
5,000 years. That's a half-life. Terrible.
Yeah, that's why I think, because it's nuclear.
No, that means they last even longer.
All right, I don't know. So say it again.
You don't pay attention in physics.
No,
terrible.
What did Ray say?
So essentially, they're debating about something, and Egon's pretty certain. He says, essentially, to prove his point, is the atomic weight of cobalt blank?
Ooh. I don't know.
The only reason I put this in because it was actually a line of dialogue. I was like, "Oh, this is a fun one."
Ooh, I don't know actually.
It's not round number. I'll give you that because you probably normally guess a round number.
293.2.
0.2. 58.9.
That's close.
Yeah. Other side of the periodic table, but yeah.
200.
200. Right.
There you go. Right.
You've got
question, one. Alfie.
Yeah.
You won't get this.
I probably won't.
I mean,
it's been a while since I watched this film.
It's nothing to do with the
seriously.
Well, it is, but
I mean, equally that wasn't to do with the film either. So
Bobby Brown sings the film's theme song on film's theme song again.
Okay.
Third question, Alfie.
Third question.
Bobby Brown sings the film's theme song On Our Own.
Yes.
He also has a cameo in the film. Who does he play?
Bobby Brown. So I know what he looks like. Bobby Brown. My God. I'm trying to think.
I would not. If I'd asked, if you'd asked me this question.
So I'm trying to think of possible place he could be. So he could be in the restaurant where Pete and Dana are having the date. Mm-hmm. He could be like a parent at the kids' party at the start. There were a couple of people shown during the ghosts appearing. Mm-hmm. So he could be one of the people running in fear or something.
Could be.
But I have literally no idea. So I'm going to say that he was running in fear from the ghosts at the end of the film.
That's incorrect. He was the mayor's doorman.
Yeah. Oh, because he recognises them, doesn't he? Right.
Yes, I think so. He was the mayor's doorman.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have got that. Terrible.
Well, we both got one there, I think, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah,
I
gave
only
me
got
one.
Let me check.
And then...
Yeah, I only got one. So it was 1-1.
1-1, yeah.
The scores still are...
So we just kept the scores the same.
We can't say the scores because I mean...
Just leave it for now.
Yeah,
I don't even want to know. Do you know what, Alfie? I don't want to know the scores.
we do film these in a weird odds. The scores never make sense.
I don't want to know the scores. They'll make me sad.
I'll just tell it to the audience really quietly. 23-16. I'm winning. Fuck Harry.
La la la. Don't listen to that.
That would have sounded really
So
bad.
anyway, then, how relevant is the film? Should you watch it? Should you not?
Again, it's essentially the same thing as the first one.
Yeah.
It's fairly relevant in the fact that, they made a sequel so long after to
We
the
were
actual
saying
film.
Between segments,
Yeah.
you should watch the second one before
Yes.
you watch the first one.
If by some miracle you've never seen Ghostbusters, watch the second one before the first one and see what you think. Treat the first one as a prequel
Yeah.
and just see if it makes any difference how you feel about the second one. Because
I know.
both of us think the second one's kind of like a little bit of a
copy-ish.
letdown. Because it's just the same formula.
Basically, right.
repeated.
If you're going to watch the first Ghostbusters, there's no reason not to watch the second one.
Yeah. It's the same film.
It's not like it's so bad you shouldn't watch
No.
it. Like, it doesn't add anything. No, it's not. It's still a nice film to watch if you have the time and you like Ghostbusters.
You like busting ghosts. If busting makes you
Feel good. You
feels a little bit last week, and it's the whole
if
thing. there.
busting makes you feel good. If that makes you
That's gonna go on like worst
Go on.
80 Cinema Club moments of 2023.
Harry's worst impression, because I always sing something in these episodes.
I don't think you did. Did you sing in? We filled episode 12 before this. And I think you're gonna be
Yeah,
fine because you didn't.
I
sing.
did, didn't I? I can't remember.
Don't add it in post. You singing just for the fun of it, that. We don't need to cull the audience anymore.
No, yeah, just watch it if you watch the Ghostbusters. There's no need to like watch it over watching Ghostbusters, the first one.
Just like if you want to watch Ghostbusters and you've got a little bit more free time as well, watch them both and just see what you think.
That's it. That's Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Bit of a letdown, not gonna lie.
yeah,
but
it's definitely not.
still a good film.
Yeah, it's like I was going to say, it's definitely not the same standard as the first one.
Yeah.
Purely, well, not in the fact that the actual film itself's any worse, just the originality isn't quite there again.
Yeah, that was episode 11.
Yeah.
Concluding our
Thank you for listening.
duology
God, yeah,
of
first one.
of Ghostbusters 1
We
and
do have
Ghostbusters 2.
a trilogy coming up at some point in the future, don't we?
In 6 weeks, I think.
Whatever that is from now.
Personally, that's what I can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, Harry's got a schedule running up until September,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. But we do have we're not going to say who, there is a very special guest coming out at one point.
Oh, yes.
In later this year.
Special to us.
Special to us. And possibly a few people listening if you did go to school with us.
Yes, that's true.
This is it's a very high profile, high caliber film scholar,
Yes.
if you will.
Yes. That's...
He
very true.
he practically like started the love for film in the room, I reckon. You know?
Yeah, I mean, well...
Very much facilitated the looking of films in this way.
Yeah,
the
actually,
analysing.
that's a good way to put it. The legend himself
Yes.
has taught us to look at films in a different way.
Yeah. Mise en scène.
That good
Can
old
never
French
look at
word.
red coats.
Never look at red coats. And never ever again.
Never again. Anyways, so
Thank
make
you
sure to,
for listen. Oh, before we plug ourselves,
all right.
fun fact: Ghostbusters 4 has started shooting
Oh fuck!
in March.
Oh, seriously?
because they did Ghostbusters Afterlife,
Yeah.
which came out a few years ago
Did that
now.
even make money?
I think it did, yeah. And
I wrote Ghostbusters into Google.
it did, yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters Afterlife came out, and then the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife is coming out.
Oh my god.
But
Seriously?
Ghostbusters Afterlife is technically the sequel to Ghostbusters 2.
So this, yeah. So it's Ghostbusters 4.
It's the fourth proper Ghostbusters
God,
film,
it
'cause
did. It made like 204
we
million
don't talk
for
about the
75
one
budget.
made in, I think, 2016. We don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, we're not
Um,
acknowledging that. Not for the fact that it's an all-woman cast.
Well, I skirted around that and you went straight into it.
Not for the fact because of that. It's just that we don't like the film.
No, so so you can follow us on social media and get in contact with whatever you want to tell us.
Yes,
on-
we'd love that actually.
Yeah,
We
tell us
really
anything.
like some outreach from
Literally,
the
tell us
audience.
how bad we were, and at least we've got some criticism, and
Tell
we
us-
know people are listening.
Tell us how wrong we were and say that Ghostbusters
Yes.
2 was actually the best film that anyone has ever made, and I will.
We've
categorically
ruined your
tell you.
childhood. So,
So from that, imagine.
so
Sorry.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
We need to like make an order for this so we can read it
Instagram,
off.
Facebook, Twitter, TikTok,
TikTok,
and YouTube,
YouTube.
all at 80 Cinema Club. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Good Pods. There's probably some other places
Probably
that have it on.
Anchor uploads it to like, Spotify for podcasts now. Ooh. Uploads it to like a load of different places, so we don't know.
Yeah,
everywhere it
most of where we do should be linked in our
Yeah.
bio.
In
And
the
come on,
link tree.
go on there, talk to us, or me really.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
if
me
you're
who
on the
runs
Twitter,
Instagram.
I'll probably
if
see
you
it.
tweet
but I
it,
don't have
Alfie will
access.
see it.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for watching. That concludes our Ghostbusters 2 episode, and we have a guest coming on next week.
Yes, we do.
We have already filmed that episode, but for us, it will be coming out for you even. It will be coming out next week.
Yes.
So we hope you're looking forward to that. So it's bye from me, Harry, and it's bye from my friend Alfie.
Ah!
Alfie.
Bye, everyone.